Hi there. Whenever we receive a query regarding any concerned area of a person's life, such as marriage, the chances of relationship stability, growth in career, and the probability of having children. Before answering any question, we need to consider the dynamic point of view regarding this time period. We believe you can have kids and marriage is possible. Check charts look quality and impact on timing and child. Chart quality is key. Child outcomes depend on it. With good charts, meaning fewer difficulties. A child may come, but it will happen easily. They likely won't face trouble. There shouldn't be too many difficulties. If the quality of the chart is very good, planetary misalignment with the fifth house may poorly placed. Planetary periods with the fifth house or lord may cause problems. If there are some minor problems, that's a different matter. But the quality of the self chart is extremely important. Today, we will discuss one of those principles that indicates whether there could be a problem in this particular set of areas or not. Queries like, will I get married? It's very late. It's been so many years since the marriage, and I work so hard, but my job is never stable. When we focus on such important questions, like whether we will find happiness with children or not, we can make blunders regarding planetary periods. How should we check the starting process? First of all, who are the controllers of these areas? Who governs them? When it comes to property, we look at fourth house, fourth lord, and the significator Mars. It's about children. Then, the fifth lord and Jupiter, it's about marriage. For seventh house lord Venus, see 10th house lord, Saturn for career. It's a simple matter that we need to check these. We will also look at the moon chart. After that, we will look at all of them in the divisional charts to see what the situation of my ascendant lord is like and what the situation of the moon is like. Since we are talking about marriage, what is the situation of the seventh lord in the D9 chart? So basically, we judge these factors for StarTech promises. What we need to do now, we know that the 6th, 8th, and 12th houses in the chart are unfavorable. Before saying this to someone, you will likely lose. You've lost no hope, almost losing, and you have lost. So, in this area, don't hold any hopes now. When do we say that? The 6th, 8th, and 12th houses are unfavorable. They show the challenges, losses, and travels of that chart. Similarly, when two planets sit in the 2nd or 6th house from each other, we don't consider it favorable. For example, the 2nd or 6th placement of the 7th lord shows some challenges. The reason is not that your compatibility is not good. You may be so involved in your work that you don't even get time to spend together. Similarly, whenever a planet moves to the 6th, 8th, or 12th house from itself, in the concerned divisional chart, we also consider it unfavorable. For example, if Venus is in Gemini in the D1 chart, and let's say it moves to Scorpio in the D9 chart, then we would say that it is 6 places away from itself, and we don't consider that favorable. Now, holding on to these houses, holding on to these placements, some rules have been established. What's that rule? The rule is that whenever the concerned house lord and significator in the divisional charts, if it moves to the 2nd, 6th, or 12th houses, or if it goes to the 2nd, 6th, or 12th position from itself, it is considered unfavorable. It is believed that you are using that area. It will be difficult for him to find happiness. The extent of that difficulty will depend on how many factors I come across and how many probabilities I can assess. Now, when I mention the 2nd house, like the 2nd house in D9 is not a good house because the 2nd house is the 7th from the 1st. The 2nd house tells us the reason for the ending of the first marriage. So, if my significator or my 7th lord is sitting in the 2nd house of D9, I consider that challenging. For a moment, I would also consider the 12th house of D7 as challenging because it is the 8th from the 5th. But the 2nd and 6th houses that we are talking about in D9 or D7 are not that favorable. In D10, you need to understand that it relates to the 10th house. We read good houses. If someone is asking us about service, we need to look at the 6th house of the D10 chart. So always take this. The principle is the grain of salt. Now, the type of setbacks and stress will depend on that. Which sign did the planets receive in these houses and which planets are influencing? The additional signs of Scorpio and Aquarius are very karmic signs. Whenever any planet enters the sign of Scorpio, especially in the D9 chart, with that planet, either you are troubled or you are the one causing trouble. Even if Mars is Scorpio, the D9 chart, there can be conflicts about property or with siblings. If planets like Venus or Mercury are Scorpio, relationships or health may decline to Venus or to Mercury. If such soft planets enter Scorpio, then you can see a downfall in their relationship significations or from a health perspective. Venus represents the kidneys while Mercury represents the skin. Problems can arise there. This principle may sound simple. In practice, it gives great results. It seems like that, what's the big deal? But in trust, it gives amazing results. You definitely need to look at the other reflections. It may seem a bit off to say this, but this rule really matters when we are going into denial mode about something. Look at this chart. First of all, the ascendant lord has gone into the 6th house, but it's in its own sign. There are good planets like Jupiter and Moon in the horoscope, but that is not a significator planet for this horoscope. The 7th lord of the horoscope is in the same house as the ascendant lord. So, fine, my partner and I are together, but we will struggle. But what will be bad thing? Rahu came between the two of them. And we understood this through the Nadi as well. If there is any planet between Mars and Venus, it doesn't allow the husband and wife to stay together, unless using the signification of the planet. There's the influence of the corrupt and the moon on the 7th house. If the moon is the 3rd lord, efforts for marriage. If Jupiter is the 8th lord, then it will show options down and also troubles. They are not married. I want to confirm that with the D9 chart. What do I need to do for that? First, I need to look at Mars in the houses of my 7th lord in the D9 chart. Which houses should I look at? The 2nd house, the 8th house, or the 12th house? My 7th of D9 in this place, these houses in the D9 chart, I wouldn't consider that good. We have discussed the houses. When we are in denial that you are right, now you will lose it. When will that happen? If my 7th slot falls into an enemy sign, a debilitated sign, or any sign that afflicts it, then it becomes problematic. If the application is on top, then it's even worse. After that, if Mars goes into the 2nd, 6th, 8th, or 12th houses on its own, then it's even worse. In this case, Mars is in the 6th house of the D9 chart, but it is in a friendly sign. Mars is not in the 2nd, 6th, 8th, or 12th houses on its own. Now I will talk about the significator Venus. My significator of marriage, Venus, is sitting in the 12th house of the D9 chart. They are in friend sign. When I compare with Venus, it is in the 9th place. Venus is also not in those positions. Still, they haven't gotten married. You will look at the quality of the D9 chart by itself. So, the 7th house and the 7th lord, Rahu, and Ketu in the axis. All those regions look exactly the way we interpret them. And along with that, If you apply this method, you will realize that this method leads towards denial. Let's take another case. In this, we will talk about childbirth. The ascendant lord is in the third house with a friendly sign, along with those who are their friends. Now, the third and earth lords are indeed your friends, but they also indicate challenges and struggles. So, all of that will definitely be present in the native's life. Saturn and Venus are the significator planets for this ascendant. Lords of 5th and 9th sit in 7th house, watching ascendant. So, you are giving your luck, your fortune, your intelligence to your partner. So, your partner's growth will happen. We are talking about childbirth after marriage. The 5th lord is in the 7th house with Saturn, who is their friend. But Saturn is a planet of delay and is also the lord of the 8th house. Mars influences the 7th house. This may cause difficulties. I feel that there could be some difficulties here. The significator of the mother is with Ketu. Ketu affects the 5th sign, Saturn and Venus delay. In the 5th house from the moon, Saturn and Venus. The influence of Saturn on both ascendants is on the 5th house, or the lord of the 5th, which indicates some kind of delay. To confirm my statement, I will go to D7. What do I need to look at? I need to look at Venus. I need to look at the 5th lord of D1. Where should I look? I need to check in D7 if it is in the 2nd, 6th, or 12th house of D7. Yes, the 6th lord is in its own sign, but it is aspected by Saturn and is also in a malefic position. Now, I need to see how my significator of children, Jupiter, is positioned. Jupiter is in the 7th house, in the 12th house, again affecting both my significator and my lord. I didn't find a good position in D7. On the top, the father figure has received the Scorpio sign, which is a friendly sign. In Scorpio, we see a lot of transformation happening. Because of these reasons, they haven't had many children. One more thing, Venus is in the 6th house in D7, but it is also in the 6th place from itself. Again, the principle is confirming this matter. Now, the other principles that are causing delays or problems in childbirth can be applied similarly. Let's take another case. They have always faced difficulties in their career. It's not a new thing. Little growth, returns are lacking, no deserved position or power. There are many setbacks, and you do not get the returns as per the hard work you put in. They have been working for so many years, yet they have never received the position and power that they should have. In this, I will explain how Scorpio troubles you or intensifies the chart. Let's talk about our beloved Scorpio. What to look at? We need to check the 10th slot of Venus in the chart. Where is it in D10? It's not in the 10th house of the chart, and in Scorpio is Venus in the 2nd, 6th, 8th, or 12th from itself. No, it isn't even in those positions from itself. Then we will look at the significator Saturn. Saturn is in Scorpio, in the 10th house, but it is in Scorpio. Where did Saturn go? If it has moved to the 2nd, then it is forming a twice relationship. That's why they never got stability. Astrological factors affect stability, the 2nd, 6th, and 12th houses in divisional charts. But this is one of the very important principles. To sum up, the 2nd, 6th, and 12th houses in divisional charts are not good houses, with the disclaimer that the 2nd house is only for the D9 chart, not for other divisional charts. And if the signs in these houses are also not good, if there are afflictions, then there will be more problems. If the house lord or significator is also placed in the 2nd, 6th, or 8th house, then it goes into denial mode. I hope this little principle will be helpful to you. Thank you so much.